What would I do if I were to start playing League of Legends from zero? My name is Thomas, and I've been Challenger every single year since 2013. I went from being harsh stuck 3 months in Silver to Challenger in the next 3 months. And you might be wondering, how the hell did you do that? That's not possible, no? Well, it is not possible now, but back then it was. Back then, there were only 120 league champions, and now there's 170, and people started figuring out the game. In this video, I'll teach you how you can achieve your dream rank, and even if you're not a new player, this video will help you so much. Look at the other people that have watched my content, and they have literally been playing the game for years, and they managed to get out of it by understanding a lot of the concepts I explain, and I'll be explaining some of the things in this video. So now let's get straight into it. Number 1, mentality. This is gonna be the most important thing as a jungler, and please, trust me. The main reason I was hard stuck in Silver 1 for 3 months is because my mentality was not good. I focused so much on my teammates' mistakes. I was getting annoyed at every small thing, and every single time I was annoyed, and every single time I listened to random teammates ping and I died, I was like, why the f*** did I follow that? Or why the hell did I listen to this piece of shit? And here's the thing, as a jungler, it really sucks, but in the end, you need to be the one that decides your own fate. If someone pings you to gank, it's up to you to make a decision. No one controls your mouse and keyboard. If your mentality is like, oh, it was my teammate's fault, you will never think about the things you should be actually working on, which is, okay, what did I think and how do I prevent it for the next time? Taking accountability and not blaming others is one of the most important things to do. And as a jungler, you're gonna get blamed for everything. Your laner gets solo killed, Joan Gap. Your laners get like ganked and you pinged, Joan Gap. Laners will always cope, and no matter what you do, it won't be fine unless you 1v9 and win the game. So I would recommend you to mute the chat, make sure to focus on your own, and as long as you focus on your own gameplay, you're going to be so much better than others. What champion should I play? Now you might be wondering, Kirei, I started playing League of Legends and there's so many champions, what should I play? Well, here's the tier list for Platinum and below. If you want to access the higher tier list, join on my Discord in the link below. But basically, I would highly advise you to not play any champions that are in the C tier. Can you make the champions in C or B tier work and climb with them? Yes. But you need to giga OTP them really hard, okay? And fully understand the champs in and out. And even then, it's actually still not easy. So it depends on what you want. I personally am a believer that you should still have some fun while playing. Don't play a champion that you cannot stick to. You should always choose one champion to spam that and play that champion only. Lock it in bad drafts, no matter what. Because even if there's another champion that's better, if you're a new jungler, you want to build the right muscle memory and build good habits. Like jungle tracking, knowing how to gank, game plans, champion mastery. These things don't get built if you keep switching champions. So, as long as you decide to main a champion, stick with it. And make sure to play it every single time, unless it's picked or banned. Is picking AD or AP mix important? So take a look here. Basically, you want to play AD bruisers, and these are some of the AD bruisers mentioned, okay? So it's important that you play similar champions that have the same identity, because those usually have similar strengths and weaknesses. So if you play, let's say, Wukong, okay? You'll understand, okay, what is my champion good with? What is my champion bad with? How can I play this champion against their draft? You'll learn to understand your champion's strengths and weaknesses, which will help you skirmish better, understand which fights you should take and which fights you shouldn't take. So, of course, when there's strengths, there's weaknesses, right? So understanding, like, every single time, okay, I'm actually strong when I have these champions, and a week, it'll help you climb so much better. I can promise you that. Don't pair a Wukong with, let's say, a Talia jungle. That is just completely different playstyles and completely different champion's identity. So every single champion, right, has different jobs in game. And you as a bruiser, right, you might not fully understand what to do always. And that is fine. But if you understand actually what your job is gonna be in game, every single game, and how to play fights, trust me, you're gonna have a much easier time. So not only that, as long as you play a strong champion, honestly, you'll be fine. So that's why I would recommend you to just stick to the same category, and yeah, if you do that, your games will be easier. And now let's go to the next part. Understanding your champion identity. The champion you play, you might be wondering, well, what the hell is my champion identity? A lot of people ask the basic question, do I gank, do I farm? And here's the thing. Depending on the champion you play, you want to focus on one more than the other. Let's say you play Mundo. This champion scales insanely well the longer the game goes, but the ganks are pretty bad. So what does it mean to you? That means that you should probably focus a lot more on jungle tracking than you should focus on learn how to gank. However, as a jungler, you should always know the basics of how to gank. If you don't know how to gank, then just don't play jungle, right? But my point is that depending on the champion you play, you might want to focus on a certain aspect more. Let's say you play a champ like Lee Sin. You need to learn how to gank. Jungle tracking is not gonna win you the game. You need to learn how to gank and how to fight, and if you do not know how to gank and fight, don't play early game junglers. I would recommend you to learn and to start with like early game junglers, so you actually know how to jungle, okay? Once you understand how to gank a bit properly, then you want to learn other fundamentals like jungle tracking and having good base timers. So now you might be wondering, Kirei, what should I focus on? There's ganking, jungle tracking, base timers, jungle pathing, champion mastery, game plans, information gathering, mechanics, and you name it. So here's the deal, okay? This is the most important thing you have to focus on. Every single game, fighting. As a jungler, you're always fighting in every skirmish. If you lose a skirmish that you should have won, you now tilted your teammate to oblivion. And not only that, you now are behind and it's much harder to play. Instead, if you actually won that skirmish, you have a lead, your teammate happy, and you can actually snowball your lead. So no matter what you're doing, even if you get to Challenger, you always want to review, how did I fight? Could I have played it better? Should I even have taken this fight? And do that every single game, and I can promise you, you will get better at it, because in the end, what you're going to be focusing on is what you're going to get better at. If you don't focus on fighting, your fighting will never be good. I would highly recommend you to focus on fighting and how to review, of course, but that is something I'll get to later. How to review. Take a look at this graph. So as you can see, the moment you're in Iron and Bronze, you want to focus a lot more on champion mastery and less on fundamentals. When you're in Silver Gold, it becomes 60% champion mastery, 40% fundamental. Platinum Emerald, that's where you can see you need to focus on more fundamentals and a bit less on champion mastery. And as the higher you get, the more fundamentals you need to focus on. So let's go to a game example and show you how it's actually done. Alright. In this example here, I'll show you what you should be looking at, especially if you want to review how to fight. Remember, as a jungler, you're involved in every single fight. So even if a play worked out, if you were like, what the hell happened there? Take a look at it. So look right now, okay? Zahan, his ability, at the edge, it deals extra damage, right? First thing first, he fails E. Second thing, he uses Q instantly, didn't alt-stack Q, for an alt-tech reset. Then, of course, because his Q is cooldown and Syndra is in front of him, he could just W him and pull him back instantly. But instead of like doing that, you can as well see his spacing was very poorly done. So now he's pressing W. But if you play the game, you don't know what's the correct thing and what's the wrong thing. So how can you learn what to actually do? And this is the most important part about learning League of Legends, okay? You need to watch someone that mains your champion and watch how they fight. Every single time, I want you to go to the replay, watch the best OTP on the champion, and literally watch, okay, how does he fight? How does he press his abilities? When and how? So let's say that this is like Canyon or like Owner, whatever, one of the best junglers, okay? You would want to think, okay, I'm going for a gank here. Would I actually... How would I play this? Like, how would you play it? Would you like E in first? Would you alt the Q? Would you use W instantly? Try to visualize how you want to play it and then see how he plays it. Obviously, this is not Canyon, as you can see, but it's very crucial that you compare what you were thinking and how he's actually playing it, the player. And then, if you watch every single fight of someone that's at the highest level and you see how they take fights, you can actually understand champion mastery. Do that like for like hours, and I can promise you, you will see a pattern. And then if you watch your own gameplay, you'll be like, ah, that is not the right combo. So that is what you want to be doing. Try to recognize patterns, see what the best players are doing, and then try to do it yourself and review and see how you do it. So that's just a part of it, okay? This is just learning. Besides learning, what else do you want to do? You want to actually take a look at your devs and see, how and why did I actually die? So not only do you want to look at fights, you want to look at fights as well and see what happened when you died. So take a look at this, okay? The Zahan tries here a 1v3 and, well, surprise, surprise, he is gonna die, okay? So you should be asking yourself, I died here. First of all, before I even took this fight, you have to ask yourself this. This is very crucial. Why did I wanna take this fight? Because if you don't understand why you want to take a 1v3, you will do it again. So why do you think the Zahan took this fight? Well, he saw a juicy Vel'Koz and he was like, well, these two on my screen look very fightable. But then again, you know, there's a Syndra behind as well. So you have to ask yourself, like, what were you seeing in game? And then if you go to replay mode, well, what did you actually miss? And understanding why you're taking certain fights and how you die and what caused it and how to not do it next time, that is going to be very important. Do that for every single dev and you'll recognize a pattern that perhaps you love chasing people to trade a 1-for-1, or maybe you didn't look minimap and you didn't realize Syndra was here maybe. So guess what you have to create? Which habit? Well, before you fight, look minimap and see, well, where are the laners? If the laners aren't here, guess what? Don't think, oh, they may be here. No! You should think, if they're missing and they're not showing, they are here. Why would you ever take a risk if you're 3-0 when you're in a winning position? There's no need to 50-50 when if you go for 3v3 or 2v2, it will be a 70-30 for you. But this is something people don't think about, and this is something you have to think about. I'm gonna show you like some examples, okay? Alright, take a look at this example. This is from my early game course. Actually, no, that's a cap. This is from my champion mastery course. Take a look here, okay? You want to understand what the best players are doing. Take a look. This is Canyon, in my opinion, the GOAT of jungle. And look at how he hits and moves. You see his alt tech and moving? Do you see how ridiculous fast this is? Now, if you would compare it to your gameplay, you'd be like, something is not right. How come he can do that fast and I cannot? Well, guess what? This takes practice. That's why you want to compare yourself versus the best. And of course, sometimes even if you watch the best, you might not be able to understand it. I don't know how sweaty you are, but if you're really sweaty, you can check the following. If you're actually sweaty and you really care about climbing and you actually want to save thousands of hours of time, and I'm not even kidding, these courses are really insane. And the thing is that if you don't climb as well, I'll give 100% refund because honestly, I mean, by now it's not a secret, but if you look at this right, you can see that a lot of people that just watch the course, they just climb. It's literally step by step what to work on. And if you follow the steps, you will climb. Literally from Emerald to Diamond in 1 week after mid and late game course. And he's not the only one, right? There's many people, even Challenger. Same for this guy. Stuck for Diamond 4 for a whole year in 2 weeks mid and late game course. Well, he got the Masters. And the thing is that if you focus on things step by step, you will improve. And basically, in total, it's 17 hours of content. Honestly, it is a bit boring, but it's very good if you're actually sweating and want to climb. I would recommend this if you're really sweating and you're struggling. But if you just want to, like, you know, try to figure out things on your own, try to do what I just explained to you. Watch people and try to understand what they're doing. But sometimes you might not be able to see it, but in courses I explain how pro players are seeing and doing things. It makes life a lot easier if you actually watch them. But try to learn by yourself first, if you can, and then try to implement it. And trust me, you'll save so much time by just getting perspective and then applying the concepts. That's how you want to look at your games and review them. So another thing about reviewing is that too many people watch too much content and don't focus on things one by one. If you suck at ganking, guess what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to look at every single gank and look at that only. Look, first gank, okay? Then you go to another gank. Look at every single gank of yours and see how you gank and see if you did it correctly. But first, you need perspective. It's the same as learning from like an OTP. You need to learn fundamentals and know what to do before you can review them. So get perspective, work on those things one by one, and then review it. And as long as you apply it, you're gonna improve. So make sure to do it, and then you will see insane improvement. All right, we are now at the end. And the end, basically, I really want to give you guys some homework, like whether you like it or not. You should be doing this. Before you begin your gaming session, you want to ask yourself, which is the games you played the previous day, what did I do well, what did I not do so well, and what do I want to focus on? And at the end of your gaming session, you want to basically look at what you did well and what you did not do so well. And of course, after you play a game, you should have hopefully a replay program and focus on your fighting, focus on your devs, and just look at one fundamental. This is very, very crucial. If you, of course, have a clear goal what you want to work on, make sure to track it. So this is basically my course improvement sheet. What you want to be doing is have a weekly goal setting. And let's say your goal is journal tracking. You want to focus on this every single time and review that one fundamental over and over and over and over again so it becomes a habit. The moment it's in habit, you want to make another habit, like let's say game plans, and keep on building that, okay? You should as well look to measure weekly progress, because I know sometimes you can have like a bad loser's queue, which doesn't exist by the way, but let's say you lose a lot of games, you're like, oh my god, I'm so tilted. Then you should actually, guess what? Look at your weekly progress, not your daily progress. This will help your mental a lot. It's the same as if someone's trying to lose weight and they're like, after one day, oh my god, I gained 0.1 kilo. Guess what? If you're focusing on the process, doing the right things, 1 week later, I can promise you, you should have a positive win rate. Don't focus on the everyday results. Focus on the long-term growth and you will climb. So you want to track your wins, losses, what you did well, what you did poorly, and then the goal, usually the same goal, okay? And of course, this is something you can decide to track per game. This is something you can think, okay, wait, fuck, this game, I made this silly mistake. It's something like recurring, like the same pattern. And as long as you know what to work on, do this. You're kind of chilling. For the people that do have the courses, which actually ironically a lot of people do, make sure to just like focus on the things you have to focus on. So like it's always step by step. You want to go from generate the lead. If you generate the lead, then you want to maintain your lead. And guess what? If you're able to maintain your lead, then you can snowball your lead. You cannot snowball your lead, guys, if you can't generate the lead. That makes sense, right? So understanding what you have to focus on first, depending on what elo, is very crucial. And this is like a sheet I had for Volibear Unranked to Master. It's a little bit outdated. I think it can be a bit better, but this will be in the comments down below. But as you can see, it's literally, these are the things you kind of want to master. Step by step, if you're in that elo, learn how to gank, ward level 1, jungle track for like 2 or 1 lanes, basic base timers, if you're in platinum, etc, right? So basically you want to focus on certain things in certain elos. Even though you might be master, sometimes you still need some platinum fundamentals, because some people are good at base timers, but really bad at game plans. And just because you climb higher, it doesn't mean you're good at everything, right? So figuring out what you want to work on step by step is very crucial, okay? That is basically all I have for you guys on what I would do if I were to start over. And just so you know, I played the game long enough to tell you that, you know, Challenger for 13 years, and I have helped people get to Challenger, like literally from Iron to like literally Diamond, from Diamond to Challenger. Like I've seen what works. I've had over thousands of people having my content, and you know, this is just how to climb if I were to start over, okay? To climb the fastest way possible. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to take note and apply things step by step, okay? Don't just watch my content over and over and over without applying it. In the end, The knowledge you gain from my videos is not your skill unless you play the game, you review, and try to perfect it, okay? Please, this is golden advice. This is really, really golden advice, okay? I want all of you guys to overtake my challenger so I can finally unstuck out of my elo. I want to see challengers born, okay? And if you have questions in the comments below, feel free to ask. Have a good 2026 League of Legends grind, and have a good one. Kirei out. Peace.